Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome back to another RPG News Roundup. This time for May 18th, 2024, where each week I take a look back at the week in tabletop, computer, and console role-playing game news and bring you the highlights. With that, we'll start on computer and console role-playing game news. Songs of Conquest is set to get a full release on May 20th out of early access. It is a strategy RPG with local multiplayer that takes place on a variety of maps with hex-based combat grids. You build up your settlements, research various advances, and set forth with your troops. It's reminiscent of Heroes of Might and Magic 3, but with a more modern spin. Then, Witch and Lilies is set to hit early access on Steam on May 24th. It is a dungeon crawler where you compose a party of girls and search for various relics. It has JRPG elements as well as various romance elements where you build relationships between the various girls to boost their abilities. Whispers in the Moss is set to release on May 31st. It looks to be a turn-based RPG with a demo currently available using text-based mode graphics. Looks like it was written in a modern version of QBasic. It's the first I've actually heard of that one. I'm actually look into that. You play three heroes as they set out to restore balance to the world. Arhakon is entering early access on June 4th. It'll have you exploring various dungeons, obtaining treasure, commanding units, and basically rebuilding a civilization in a dark fantasy world. Dicefolk is getting a Switch release on June 20th. It is a tactical roguelike, which has been available on the PC since February. It's set on a world about to be destroyed. You take on the role of a young hero, meaning to command various creatures and build a team to defeat the sorcerer threatening the world. Tokyo Xanadu X Plus is getting a Switch release, this time on July 25th. Originally a PS4 port of a Vita-era game, it has been available on the PC since 2017. I need to finish it. I've had it in my library forever. Lost in the Open is set to get a Kickstarter to help fund it in July. There is a demo currently available on Steam. It is a turn-based tactical roguelike where you survive an assassination plot only to be forced to flee across no man's land. Sword of the Necromancer Revenant is set to get a release sometime at the end of summer. It will be targeting the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X/S, as well as the Switch. It is a 3D remake of the original Sword of the Necromancer game. Inertia, the last song, is set to release on September 19th on the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X/S. It will be an RPG set in a fantasy world inspired by Italian culture, where you play the only person who has their own fate in a world that's otherwise trapped in a static repeating play. It looks like it'll have Souls-like gameplay. Neptunia Game Maker, or Evolution, will be heading to the Xbox Series X/S. It is an action RPG featuring the older versions of the character Neptune. It is currently available on the PlayStation 4 and 5 as well as the Switch. Bleak Faith Forsaken will be getting a console release. It looks like it'll be hitting the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X/S sometimes later this year. It has been available on the PC for a little while now. Deathbound is coming to the PS5 and Xbox Series X/S. It looks like it'll be releasing at the same time that the PC version will. There's a demo available on Steam at the moment. Set in a medieval world, Deathbound has you playing a creature that is the result of an experiment to attain eternal life. It'll let you absorb the essence of fallen warriors. Alzara Radiant Echoes has been announced. It will be a turn-based RPG inspired by older JRPGs, with everything from Golden Axe to the later Final Fantasies to Lost Odyssey cited as inspiration. There will be a Kickstarter campaign. In fact, it's active now, and I will be covering it in the Kickstarter section. It'll feature a Mediterranean-inspired archipelago. I usually don't deal in rumors and very, very early announcements, but it does seem like the group of developers and veterans that were worked on Helldivers 2, like some of them have broken off to form their own company, and will be working on a strategy RPG similar to Fire Emblem. It'll be interesting to see where that one goes. From what I understand, it'll be more of the modern take on it, with focuses on narratives, romance, that sort of thing. As far as actual releases go, Dread Delusion saw its release. It is an open-world RPG inspired by early 2000s styles of RPGs, and especially Morrowind and so forth. It takes place in a broken alien world where civilization clings to flying continents. Starcrawler's Chimera was released. It is a first-person turn-based cyberpunk-style RPG dungeon crawler, similar to the first Starcrawlers. In fact, very similar from what I understand. Sea of Stars is getting a physical release. It got a physical release. Once again, day late and dollar short on that. It is now available to purchase for various consoles. It is an RPG inspired by classics from the 90s. Against Humanity saw its release. It is an adventure RPG set in a world where you are set to end human domination of the various places and bring them back into balance. Instant Armory is not so much a computer RPG, but is an early access like arms, weapon, and various equipment designed for fancy tabletop role playing games, just so you can design the look of them. Break the Loop is a turn based roguelike where you create a team and select various events in order to create your own timeline. It looks to have you stopping an apocalypse. Toho Genso Wanderers Foresight is a mystery dungeon style roguelike set in the Toho series world. Astral Rift is an indie roguelike where you fight through various randomly generated dungeons full of hordes of enemies to recover astral shards and keep the world from a spatial collapse. Finally, Wildermyth got an expansion called Omen Road. It has it gives you a new way to play, as well as tactical challenge modes, roguelike modes. There's also a new story campaign. And with that, let's go on to tabletop role-playing game news. It looks like the Dungeons & Dragons 2024 edition will be having Greyhawk as its sample setting in the Dungeon Master's Guide. It's nice to see it being exposed more to, the modern, like the younger generation that maybe have not played in Greyhawk much. I had been hoping that kind of attention would wait until their current design philosophy over at Wizards of the Coast has cleared out, because I suspect it will at some point. It'll be interesting to see how they adapt it to whatever they're going for nowadays. Interesting and probably somewhat sad. Although since it's just a sample campaign, maybe they won't change it too much. Anyway, there's also evidence that the cartoon Dungeons & Dragons party from the 80s will be present, at least some of the artwork and some of the books. It looks like they're going to be full-on nostalgia bait to try and get people to buy it. I don't blame them, considering how many bridges they've burned. We'll have to see how it works. Probably very well, considering how short of attention span people have nowadays. Anyway, onwards towards minor PDF releases. It looks like Legendary Games has Legendary Psychics, a supplement for Pathfinder 1st Edition. It redesigns the Psychic class with more options, origins, disciplines, and so forth. I will also say this week is going to be pretty heavy focused on collections of adventures and offerings, which I will go over in groups as appropriate. So we'll start with the Battle Zoo one. Roll for Combat has several entries into their Battle Zoo offering. There is Jewel of the Indigo Isles, an epic adventure taking characters from levels 1 to 11, available in both Pathfinder and 5th Edition formats. They also have a World of Battle Zoo Indigo Isles, which gives backgrounds on what you need to play in that setting, various ancestries, races, heritages, an overview of key locations within the Isles, maps, so forth. It's also available in Pathfinder and 5th Edition formats. Then they have the Battle Zoo Bestiary, Strange and Unusual, which is a collection of over 150 monsters, along with expanded rules for the monster part systems and so forth. Once again, available in Pathfinder and 5th Edition versions. Lantern Man Gaming has a set of 5th Edition adventures, each one designed around a particular terrain or theme. There is a Race Around Echodale, which is based on a floating city. The Scarlet Dunes of Shokras, which is based around a desert. And a Walking Dream unfurls, based around a jungle. Mammoth Factory also has a set of 5th Edition adventures. There's Vows of Spring, Feast of the Damned, and Bastion of Flame. Kelphicil's Tales once more has a set of dungeon packs, each one with a dungeon adventure as well as a bounty. There is Cult of the Eye, Crimson Gala, and the Jelly Maze. And hey, look, this time it got it correct. SideQuest has a collection of SideQuest adventures, once more gathered for 5th Edition. This time, SideQuest Easy Adventures. This is designed with beginners in mind and collects 5 different adventures with an adventure hook for them all. Actually, several adventure hooks, from what I understand. Outer Seas, The Crawling Chaos, is a role-playing game fantasy setting with a hydropunk-style theme. I believe it's for 5th Edition, although it doesn't explicitly say it. It's for OGL, so I'm hoping 5th Edition. Anyway, it includes an adventure set in the Outer Seas, a hex map of the surroundings, random encounter tables, a bestiary, various equipment, and so forth. Tomb is a 5th Edition dungeon delving zine set for 5th Edition or 5th level characters. It includes new undead monsters, new skeletal themed magic items and spells, and so forth. Feyforged, the Feywild's Ultimate Treasury, is a 5th Edition supplement that offers 300 plus magical rewards with a Fey theme. Westbright Creations has the Dancing Sun Tavern's Pocket Tome of Inferior Spells. It's a collection of 10 odd and unreliable spells for 5th Edition, along with a unique spell mechanic to go with them, designed around a sort of creative and humorous tone. They also have the Dancing Sun Tavern's Brigand Encounters Toolkit, which is another 5th Edition offering that offers battle maps, unique creatures, a couple of magic items, an NPC, a new spell, and other things associated with that theme. Camping offers a set of rules for wilderness camping, as well as specific activities that can go about with them. It's available in both Pathfinder and 5th Edition formats. Skara's Guide to Horticulture, Poultices and Poisons, is a 5th Edition supplement that offers various magical plants, herbs, mushrooms, and so forth, as well as the things to do with them and make with them. Multi-Classes Manual, Volume 1, is an advanced 5th edition supplement that offers a collection of resources for building multi-class characters in that system. It includes feat chains for 20 for various 2-class combinations, as well as a number of archetypes, profession feats, combat traditions, spells, and even a magic item. Then there's Chronos Slip, which is available in print in 5th edition and advanced 5th edition battle offering. It has a main supplement book as well as a time-locked bestiary. I believe this was based on like a time-traveling kind of thing, which offers creatures for that particular adventure setting. Cult of Morgue is a basic/expert and similar OSR-style adventure dealing with cultists. I mean, assuming they're the Cult of Morgue, as it says on the tin. Anyway, Grimwood City for Easy D6 is available in print. It's a sort of urban labyrinth for that system that gives information on the bustling streets of Grimwood and the Forgotten City below them. Schwalb Entertainment has a set of offerings for Black Star, which is, I think it's a setting for Shadow of the Demon Lord system. There is Grim Lore, which offers 10 monster sections, various new monster variants, and other sinister lore. Creature Codex offers a monster expansion for the Demon Lord world, which offers new templates, lore, and creatures for the Land of Earth. Then there's Secrets of the Grave, which offers 7 adventures that uses the creatures from both Codex and Grim Lore. Maze's Fantasy Roleplay Module 22 is another offering for that system, called The Doom That Follows. It follows up on the escape from a vault with an artifact in hand. The Book of Blighted Baubles is a compendium of magical and mundane cursed items for pretty much any fantasy tabletop role-playing game, offering item descriptions, in-depth exploration of the associated curses, and various methods for dispelling them. There are a few offerings for the Fabula Ultima tabletop JRPG system. It is a Game Master's Toolkit that offers a booklet that expands the Game Master chapter of the core rulebook, as well as Atlas Techno Fantasy, which offers a high-tech dystopian-style world type with new classes, new locations, weapons, quirks, villains, and so on. Exigence, Out of the Ashes, is available in print from Onyx Path. It is a group of exalted that are the chosen of creations of countless minor gods. Burrow Tales is a RPG focusing on bunnies in the deep. It lets you take the role of adventurer bunnies and burrow wardens, adventuring in the burrows and stretching underground. Paris Gothique Savage World Adventure Edition is a guide for information on figures, places, and secret societies in the French capital city, and the Savage Worlds version for the All-for-One Regime Diabolique, which I believe is available in a separate system, but I thought I covered it some time ago. Anyway, Flying Circus Chariots of Steel is an expansion for the Flying Circus World War I Aerial Ace role-playing game. It expands the rules and options for fighting on the ground for crash pilots, as well as adding options to play a mercenary army company. Super Savage Systems has a couple of offerings for the Neon Lords system. There's a Warp Shine, which covers an abandoned humanoid mining colony, and then Riders of the Burp Warp. Mongoose has Paranoia, Mandatory Fun. It's a mission from Paranoia RPG that looks to satirize corporations. Spaceships of the Galaxy is a Star Dark supplement, basically a sci-fi version of Shadow Dark RPG, that features various starships, tramp freighters, capital warships, as well as guidelines for upgrading and figuring out the cost of your ships. Deadly Cargo is a Cepheus engine adventure that deals with a cargo and passenger run that takes a dangerous turn when 2 of the passengers turn out to be business rivals. Shadows over Souls of the Cytherian Malignancy is available in print and is an adventure for Shadows over Soul system that is a horror scenario that deals with an academic expedition that has found unnatural tunnels on Venus. Finally, Renegade Game Studios has a set of offerings for the Power Rangers role-playing game. There is the adventure A Time of Night. It's a jump-through-time source book as well that offers new options as well as time-themed seasons. New roles, new threats, new equipment, and so forth. Then there's Finster's Monster-Matic Cookbook Sourcebook, which offers Psycho Rangers, various new threats, rules for creating new threats, sorceress powers, and rules for integrating miniatures from Heroes of the Grid. With that, let's take a look at crowdfunding campaigns. Remember that contributing to a crowdfunding campaign should be done only at your own risk. Doing so is no guarantee of even receiving a product mentioned here. It is not endorsement, but is for informational purposes only. And a few computer and console role-playing game crowdfunding items caught my eye this week. There is, of course, Alzara Radiant Echoes, which is a Kickstarter to fund the JRPG-style Alzara that I mentioned earlier in the roundup. Then there's Open Blades of Exile 2.0, which looks to try to help fund a developer to spend the summer updating the old Blades of Exile and cleaning up some of the code that's been trying just to get it running more smoothly on operating systems, modern operating systems. This is not somebody associated with Spiderweb Software, simply somebody that's been working with the open source code base so far, and will be trying to spend some time to clean it up, fix bugs, and get to the 2.0 milestone that they've got set. Onwards towards tabletop crowdfunding, the world of Izarith will be an RPG setting for Pathfinder 1st Edition. It looks like it's going to be taking place on a world just emerging from a long era of darkness. The Void's Embrace looks to create a 5th edition supplement that features procedural generation of adventures inside of a mythical dimension known as the Void. It'll include a custom bestiary, a magic items, and so forth. The One-Eyed Werebook looks to compile 5 5th edition adventures, plus a playable werebear race, along with themed spells, subclasses, and more from One-Eyed Werebear Gaming. The Gold Dragon Gambit will be a 5th edition casino-style heist adventure set during a high-stakes card tournament. There will be various hidden agendas seeking to claim the treasure at the heart of the tournament for their own. It allows play from, all 3 sides. You can play a player in the card tournament, somebody hired to protect the interests of those inside of it, or as one of the people plotting to take the prize by other means. Dungeons Deep and Caverns Old will be a 5th edition fantasy campaign set in a dwarven kingdom after a sort of cataclysm. I could have sworn that I covered this one already. Oh well, it looks interesting, so there it is. Canderlin, Queen of the Grey Sea, will be a 5th edition fantasy city, which includes 3 one-shot adventures themed around it. The Siege of Troy looks to be a 5th edition one-shot adventure set in ancient Greece, or actually themed on ancient Greece, because I'm assuming it's set near the city of Troy, which was not in Greece. Anyway, it's suited for level 6 characters, takes on the legendary Battle of the Trojan War. Fabled Beginnings, Cake Trouble, looks to be another entry into a series of high-level play for low-level party 5th edition adventurers. This one is suited for starting in the Feywild. They're designed to allow the beginning characters to engage in the things usually suited for higher-level characters. Random Encounters, Eastern Adventures, looks to be a 5th edition toolbox that includes many battle maps and other material for 5th edition, including random tables with a set of 5 Asian themes. Hal and Rogers, Creature Compendium 2 for 5th edition, will be a set of over 70 new creatures with narrative backdrops and stories, as well as the standard stat blocks. More Wicked Weirdos looks to be a collection of 30-plus new NPCs for 5th edition style RPGs. Similar to the first offering, it'll include various illustrations, stat blocks, backgrounds, and so on. Gobber's Guide to Hearth and Home will be a 5th edition supplement with the rules for creating a home for your adventurers, like base building, city building, that kind of thing. It'll include new classes, races, and magic items, and more. Vaults of Tenebrous looks to be a collection of magic items for Shadowdark and D&D 5th edition, as well as consumables and the lore behind them. It'll include dozens of magic items, armor, weapons, staffs, and so on, potions and elixirs, magical boons to be given out by entities with illustrations, as well as ways to make cursed items. Modulistic Terror looks to be a set of 3 adventures for Hyperborea. It'll include the Oblation Slab of the Hepatomancer, the Thousand Eyes of Thalmagorga, and the Vanishing Isles of the Summer King. Ruthless Heavens, Boundless Fate will be a science fantasy-style OSR RPG. You play as an Ascendant, someone from a world that was destroyed and remade into something new. And it looks like the RPG system itself is inspired by the lit RPG genre. The Savage World of Solomon Kane will be a Savage Worlds Adventure Edition RPG based on the Solomon Kane character from Robert E. Howard's. It'll actually be a revised edition of the RPG, since I believe there's already a version out there. Castles in the Air RPG will be a Gilded Age style game based on the Good Society system, which explores stories similar to the Little Women and other Jane Austen novels, as you playing both a child and an adult version of the same character. Finally, there is the Hardy Boys role-playing game. It looks like it'll be a family-friendly mystery-style RPG for 1 or 2 players that's set for quick play in under an hour. And with that, I'm going to wrap things up here. This has been the RPG Crawler with my RPG News Roundup for May 18th, 2024. As always, links will be below. If you like what you've seen, remember to leave a like, comment on your feedback, and subscribe for more RPG content. Until next time, take care, goodbye, and I gotta deal with that cat, which is probably what you heard all this time.
And if you are still watching, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my supporters, the top tiers of which are listed on the screen, without whose support I would not have been able to offer the variety of content that I have on this channel throughout the years. If you're feeling particularly generous and would like to join them, you can support the channel. There are a variety of options to do so. I have a Patreon, a Subscribestar, as well as channel memberships enabled. If you are not in a position to contribute, simply leaving a like, a comment, or sharing my videos are all wonderful ways to help the channel grow without spending a dime, and are all greatly appreciated.